What's up, everybody? ASMR Fanatic here, and tonight I am going to be reviewing TNA Bound for Glory 2005. Now, this is my first ever TNA pay-per-view review on my channel, and yeah, pretty excited to start doing these review videos from TNA. And I just thought that I always review WWE and AEW shows, so yeah, why not spice things up a bit? So yeah, without further ado, let's get started. And this show had a lot of matches on it. So let's start with the pre-show match, which was actually this match right here. We had an X Division 4-way with Sanjay Dutt versus Alex Shelley versus Austin Aries versus Roderick Strong. And yeah, this was the pre-show match, which I've never seen this show before, and when I saw that this was the pre-show match, I was like, are you serious? Like, good lord. And as expected, this match was great. High flying action, a lot of cool spots. But it was kind of weird though, because it wasn't really a fatal 4-way, because you had to like tag in somebody to like get in the match, because it only started in a one-on-one contest. So yeah, kind of odd, but great match though. I loved it. Then we move on to the main card, and I'll start with this match down here. We have the Diamonds in the Rough versus Sonny Siaki, Apollo, and Shark Boy. Now, the only person that I was familiar with in this match was Shark Boy, and I never heard of the rest of these guys, but this was still a good match, and I was really impressed with this guy, Apollo. I never heard of him before, but yeah, he was great. He was like this big dude, and he was good in the ring. So yeah, like I said, good match. Then we move on to the 3 Live Crew, which had Road Dogg, Ron Killings, aka R-Truth, and Conan versus Team Canada, which consisted of Bobby Roode, Eric Young, and I forgot who the other guy was, some other Canadian. But this match was just okay. The 3 Live Crew I really didn't care about. When you have a team consisting of R-Truth, Road Dogg, and Conan, it's kind of hard to care. I'm sorry. I just don't really care about those guys that much. So yeah, that was an match. And then we move on to the alpha male Monty Brown versus Lance Hoyt. And this was great. One of my favorite matches of the night. Just 2 big dudes just like going at it. And yeah. And the match was great, but it really pissed me off of how much WWE squandered at the opportunity to push Monty Brown when they had him, because this is Marcus Cor from WWE's ECW, and just seeing how much charisma Monty Brown had in TNA, and then you look at him in ECW where he was just treated like some like regular wrestler. It's like, seriously, like, how do you mess up that badly on like one of TNA's hottest stars in 2005, 2004? I don't know, but yeah. And this was also my first viewing of Monty Brown in a match. Of course, I've seen him on YouTube before, like in other highlight matches and stuff. But yeah, I was super impressed with Monty Brown. Like, this guy really should have been a world champion, but yeah, that never happened, unfortunately. So, but yeah, good match, really good match. And next we had Monsters Ball 2. And we had Abyss versus Rhino versus Sabu versus Jeff Harvey. And this was so chaotic, as expected. If you guys don't know what a Monsters Ball match is, it's basically like an Extreme Rules match. That's pretty much it. So yeah, combine all these guys together, you're gonna get like a train wreck, but a good train wreck. Tons of crazy spots. The one that comes to my mind instantly is Jeff Hardy doing a swanton bomb off the stage through. Did he do it through Rhino or Abyss? One of those two. But yeah, Jeff Hardy dived off the stage and did a swanton bomb through a table, which isn't shocking because it's Jeff Hardy, but yeah, awesome moment. So yeah, great match, really good match. Then we move on to an international showdown. Samoa Joe versus Jushin Thunder Liger. And I gotta be honest, this was not as great as I thought it would be. Now the match was fine, but yeah, I expected more from these two. So yeah, I just didn't think that their styles really didn't mesh that well, but yeah, okay match though. Then we move on to a tag team match for the NWA World Tag Team titles with America's Most Wanted, which included Chris Harris and James Storm as they took on the Naturals, who I wasn't really familiar with. I never heard of these guys before, but I was impressed. They had a great match with America's Most Wanted. I really shouldn't call this a match. It was more so a brawl because they just beat the crap out of America's Most Wanted for the first 10 minutes, and then it moved on into the ring. But yeah, this had really good storytelling. So yeah, I like this match a lot. And also Chris Harris is another guy that WWE really treated badly in ECW, of course, as he was Braden Walker. So yeah, you guys should know who that is if you watched ECW in 2008. Yeah. So moving on to the Ultimate X match, and this is for the number one contendership for the X Division title. As we had Matt Bentley with Tracy versus Petey Williams versus Chris Sabin. Okay, so this match was a lot of fun, but it had a lot of issues. Now, if you guys don't know what an Ultimate X match is, basically hanging above the ring is this X, and it's tied to these ropes on top of the ring. And so wrestlers have to crawl their way to the X and retrieve it in the air. So what ended up happening is that the X fell down not once but twice, which made things really awkward as the referees had to stop the match and hang the X back up. So yeah, and you could also tell that Matt Bentley and Chris Sabin were pissed. This was not supposed to happen, and it didn't really ruin the match for me because I like this match a lot. There are a lot of cool spots, but yeah, it could have been better if those botches didn't happen. So yeah, I felt bad for everybody involved. And then we move on to the X Division title match, and this was an Iron Man match between AJ Styles versus Christopher Daniels. Wow, this was match of the night, definitely. As expected. I mean, it's AJ Styles versus Christopher Daniels in a 30-minute Iron Man match. I mean, come on. So, yeah, and especially in those final 10 minutes, wow. Man, it was just back and forth. These two are even, in wrestling style and in intensity, and it was a pretty brutal match too. One spot in particular, Christopher Daniels back body dropped AJ Styles from the ring apron onto like the actual floor, and you could hear like the thud of AJ's back and Daniels' back hitting the mat on the outside. I was like, good lord. So yeah, a brutal match and a fantastic match as well. Definitely watch this match if you haven't. And next up, we had a 10-man gauntlet to determine the number one contender to the NWA World Title, which you guys can already see it won, but anywho. So we had in this gauntlet match Abyss, Rhino, Monty Brown, AJ Styles, Ron Killings, Kip James, aka Billy Gunn, Samoa Joe, Lance Hoyt, Sabu, and Jeff Hardy. This match was fine, but as with all battle royals, there's always that one spot that just makes no sense whatsoever. And what I am referring to is when Monty Brown came in, and I was like, okay, this is gonna be great. I'm a big fan of Monty Brown, and I just want to see him dominate this match, which didn't really happen at all. He was basically in there for like 20 seconds, and so he got rid of Jeff Hardy, and then he just eliminated himself, which it did look like he did. I mean, he basically just went over the rope by himself. And I'm like, what the hell? That makes no sense whatsoever. So yeah, that was pretty disappointing to see. But yeah, as you guys can see, Rhino did end up winning the match, which was cool. I am a fan of Rhino, so yeah. So then it immediately went to the main event, in which we saw Jeff Jarrett versus Rhino with special guest referee Tito Ortiz for the NWA World Title. And this was pretty short for a main event. It only lasted 8 minutes, I think, which, Rhino already went through hell as it was. He fought the Monsters Ball, he fought the Gauntlet match, and now he's in the main event for the world title. So yeah, Rhino pulled a triple duty this night, and he ended up winning the match, which was awesome to see, because again, I am a fan of Rhino, so yeah. And the match was pretty good though. Even though it was short, it was pretty good. It told a good story. So yeah, Rhino won the title, and it was a great way to end the show. So yeah, for my first TNA pay-per-view that I've watched all the way through in its entirety, this was a great way to start, as this was a great show. I had tons of fun watching this, and I gotta say, this was a really, good break from watching, AEW and WWE. Yeah, I don't know, there's just something fun about TNA that you don't see in other companies. I mean, of course, there's pros to AEW and WWE, or old WWE, I should say. But TNA, man, around this time period, it was just action-packed, fast-paced, adrenaline rushing. Yeah, it was great. So yeah, and I even think that TNA really had a shot of being at WWE's level, because this roster during this time period, wow, it was insane. So yeah, really good show. If you guys have not seen this pay-per-view, go out and watch it. You'll have a good time with it, like I did. And yeah, that will do it for my review of Bound for Glory 2005. So, as always, hope you guys enjoyed, and let me know in the comments what other TNA pay-per-views you guys want to see me review. I am going to review 2 more coming up, because I am ordering them as we speak. So yeah, they will probably be arriving next week or in 2 weeks. So yeah, look forward to that. like I said, just let me know in the comments what other shows you guys want me to review from TNA. Nothing from, Impact, because, actually nothing post Hulk Hogan when he took over TNA. I just can't stand that time period. So, yeah, just the old school TNA stuff. So, yeah, with all that being said, this has been the ASMR Fanatic, signing out.